Overnight, the tropical low north of Darwin intensified and has now met the criteria to be named Tropical Cyclone Fina. Earlier today, the Bureau issued a tropical cyclone watch for parts of the northern coast of the top end. The watch area currently extends from the Tiwi Islands to Cape Don, Warrawee, Maningrida, and to Milingimbi in Arnhem Land. So the track map shows that the system is currently moving away from the coast, but it is expected to take a turn tomorrow afternoon and start heading towards the Northern Territory coastline. At this stage, the system is forecast to reach Category 2 strength from later tonight and to remain at Category 2 strength as it moves towards the coast in the coming days. Tomorrow, we will see the watch area extend further south and west, and it may include Darwin. We will also see some areas included in a warning area included in the track map tomorrow. That's the darker orange shade, as the weather impacts are forecast within the next day. During Friday, communities in the watch areas can expect strong winds and heavy rainfall. And during Saturday, communities further south, including Darwin, should expect to see conditions deteriorate.
Tropical cyclone Fina has made its way to the Northern Territory, the first of the season. It's come a bit early for us. However, having said that, all of the Northern Region local emergency committees that spreads from Western Australia to the Queensland border on the north coast are all ready, and they've had their plans reviewed, and they're currently holding all of their meetings in relation to Tropical Cyclone Fina across the Tiwi Islands and all the way across to Nhulunbuy at the moment. What we expect to see at the moment is a cyclone watch for those affected areas from Cape Don all the way over to Milingimbi. What that means is the Northern Region Emergency Committee has been stood up, and we've opened up the Territory Emergency Operations Centre. We have sent extra police staff over to the Tiwi Islands today to support the 3 local area committees of Warramianga, Perlin-Gympie and Milakarpiti. We're over there today to basically engage with the community to ensure our local emergency committees are well engaged in terms of making sure that those communities are resilient. We're looking at all facets in terms of local shelters if people need to look at those as the tropical cyclone develops. We've also sent people over to Minjalang and Warrawee to assist those communities at the moment to engage and also help them prepare for that impending weather.
In relation to this weather system, we started planning in partnership with the police last Wednesday. A whole range of activities have been taken in that time. That's included preparing all of the volunteer forces to support the police as we transition into the response phase, and so that there are units in the top end of the Northern Territory who are ready, and then there are units south in the Northern Territory who will come through in relief if and when required. What we've also done is prepared a range of staff to support the Territory Emergency Operations Centre, which is quite normal, as just been outlined. What we've also done is prepared a whole range of scenarios, potential scenarios for what we might do in relation to impact in support of the police, based on the various scenarios that have been provided by the Bureau. For Darwin, what we should do firstly is make sure that you have a plan for your family that includes what you are going to do should the cyclone make landfall here. You should consider that there are shelters across Darwin, but the general advice in Darwin is that most of our buildings are built to code now, and that the safest place for you to do is to actually stay in your residential home. What you should also do, and should have been doing for a period of time now, is to check to make sure that your emergency kit is ready. In that kit is a whole range of support that you can use. And if you do decide as part of your plan that you are going to leave your home and go to an emergency shelter, the emergency shelters are not serviced. You have to take all of your own equipment with you, all of your own support with you. In developing that plan, you need to take into account what you are going to do with your pets, because most of the shelters do not support pets. So you need to have a bit of a think about that. You also need to establish a way of communicating with your family members should you be in different locations at different times, because one of the things, of course, we all know from the top end is that communication systems as well as electricity systems and other essential services can be disrupted at this time. At this stage, there is no plans to evacuate anybody at this stage, but that's a decision that will be made by the incident controller in consultation with a whole range of organisations, a whole range of people, and directly with the local communities in an assessment of the risk. Category 2 cyclones, the descriptors that are used from history and from our recent history, electricity supplies and other essential services are generally affected from that until we actually know where it's going to cross, if it's going to cross. And what the intensity of the impact might be. We probably can't speculate about how large of an impact that might be on essential services. So the other things that get impacted is water supply, telecommunications primarily, obviously our transport systems, and people's ability to move about freely.
The track map quite clearly shows the best track map that we have available as of today, that the tropical cyclone Fina will first of all kind of make landfall in the Coburg Peninsula area, and then from then travel through the Van Diemen Gulf. Now, as that's a very narrow waterway, it's quite hard to say sort of whether the impacts will be to the north or the south at this early stage of the system. But it's clear that from the way that the cyclone's moving, we're likely to see the impacts in Darwin. There will be, heavy rain and windy days ahead, and it's probable that Saturday will be the main day when the cyclone will impact the Darwin area. Although, depending on how the track moves, that may start from as early as Friday night. These systems, they move erratically, and there is always the possibility that it may intensify further into a Category 3 system as it makes its way towards the coast. It is forecast to intensify to a Category 2 system overnight tonight, and it's so far the expectation that it will remain at Cat 2 for the coastal crossing, but we can't rule out the possibility of a Category 3.
There tends to be a bit of panic around a cyclone coming. We've been through this a lot of times in the Northern Territory. It's currently sitting at a Cat 1. It's currently sitting about 350 kilometres sort of northeast of Darwin. We know that it's going to more than likely track down towards those northern coastal areas and may cross the Tiwi Islands, Croker Island, as well as Darwin. So now's the time to be prepared, absolutely. And that's what we've been doing now for the past week or so, in conjunction with NTES, who are the main preparedness people. So today is a little bit more because we've got a tropical cyclone watch on, and it covers those Tiwi Islands all the way over to Warrawee, Milingimbi. What we need to do is just go across and engage with those communities just to settle them down and make sure that they're actually ready. They've got enough food, they've got enough water, they've got enough backup batteries, they've got all of the essential items that they need to actually sit through any potential cyclone that comes. But I can say to you as well, as part of that northern region emergency planning, is nothing is out of the question. So that means that yes, we have planned for things like evacuations. We have planned for things like road and rail cuttages. We have planned for an entire range of scenarios that may happen. Will they occur? I think that the chance is going to be low. However, we stand absolutely ready just in case those things do happen. We expect the community to make sure that they are preparing themselves and their families. So yes, call the airlines if you need to. We don't want them to be inundated. Obviously, they've got to go through their emergency protocols as well if they need to. We don't want to inundate those sorts of people, so check the websites, check Secure NT for all of the updated information as well. And like I say, be prepared, but don't panic. There is no need to panic at the moment. Just heed the advice that we will be sending out. Always check Secure NT, always check the advice from NTES and the police. Now that the EOC is up and running, we will be sending out more information to update the community. So those questions are obviously there. When am I going to shelter? We're not considering that at the moment. But believe me, if we are, we will send the advice out early.
First Nations TV, your news first.